Hello everybody, I hope you enjoyed seeing the Zimmerman family at play. I'm just going to give you a few thoughts and reflections on Luke chapter 15. And it's in this chapter that we get the three parables about things that are lost. But the chapter starts like this. Now the tax collectors and sinners were all gathering around to hear Jesus, but the Pharisees and the teachers of the law muttered, "This man welcomes sinners and eats with them." So the people who were listening were the riffraff of society. The tax collectors absolutely loathed, and the sinners. And the people who were muttering were the Pharisees and the teachers of the law. And it's not really surprising that those people gathered around him were the ones that society rejected. Because Jesus said, "The Spirit of the Lord is upon me. He has anointed me to proclaim good news to the poor. He has sent me to proclaim freedom for the prisoners, recovery of sight for the blind, and to set the oppressed free." And so it's not really surprising that it was the riffraff of society who sat at the feet of Jesus and listened. The Pharisees were jealous. They were muttering amongst themselves. They were dissatisfied and they were critical. And so just from the first two verses, I think we need to check ourselves, because we can become so negative. Negativity can easily come on our lips. And it doesn't matter whether that's on the phone or in your family or about your church or about your work. It reflects the state of the heart. So let's just check ourselves. This is followed by the three parables about things that were lost being found. And the message of these parables was for the Pharisees. You see, they already knew the Torah. They had followed its teaching all their lives. They had discussed it for hours. They were confident in their faith. But Jesus didn't come for them. He came for those who were in need, those who lacked that confidence, who lacked that understanding. And so the people who were lost in the stories, or the items that were lost in the story, were found. And Jesus, or the father, or the shepherd, or the woman who lost the coin, they searched for the thing that was lost. They didn't spend time with the rest that were already found. That was a difficult message for the Pharisees. And in the third of the three stories, in the lost son, the older brother mutters and complains, reminiscent of the Pharisees at the beginning of the chapter. You see, the older brother had been faithful to his father all along, and the Pharisees had been faithful to the Torah all along, but they didn't have love. And it's in the end, it's love that counts. And we are called to be like Jesus in our society, to show love to the lost world, love to the needy, love to the riffraff of society. But how can we show love amongst coronavirus when we're all stuck inside? This is what C.S. Lewis said. God whispers in our pleasures, speaks in our conscience, but shouts in our pain. It is his megaphone to rouse a deaf world. God is rousing a deaf world. The world is in pain. It's in fear of death. It's in fear of coronavirus. It's in fear of being short of food, short of toilet rolls even. But deeper than that, they are deeply fearful of this virus. pain is God's megaphone to rouse a deaf world. They are no longer deaf. They are listening. They want answers. And we must be ready. We must ready, yes, to meet their physical needs wherever we can, if that's possible in our own circumstances, to support them by messaging them, by phoning them, and to support them by praying for them. Because although the rest of the world is willing and very, very willing to give and to support, there's very, very few people who are willing to pray. So we must remember to pray for those people who we support, our neighbours and our friends. And we must remember to tell them that we are praying for them. But also, we must be ready to answer the questions, because questions will come. And the question that will be on most people's minds will be this: if there is a God, why would he send coronavirus? Is he cruel? What do we think? Why did he? Did he at all? Was it him? Are we ready as God's people to answer that question? Do we know what we would say if somebody answered that to us? Asked that to us? So yes, in this time, God is calling us to go, although we're all stuck inside. We need to see this as an amazing opportunity, because the deaf world is finally listening. So take time today to pray for individuals. Yes, to send messages. Yes, to do whatever we can to help, but also to pray. And take time to search for the answers to that really difficult question, because it will come. And we need to be ready. We're God's people. He's provided a harvest for us to reap. So let's be ready. We've got time, extra time on our hands, to be on our knees, to pray, to do our research, to spend time with God. And so let's secure our own faith, secure our own relationship with God, and be ready for whatever is thrown at us from the world outside us. So let's love the lost, and let's do what Jesus is asking us to do, and be the people that God wants us to be. Well, that's my thoughts for today. I hope they're helpful to you. Take time to reflect on them this weekend, and hopefully we'll see each other on Zoom on Sunday evening, if that's something that you can do. And if not, God bless you, God keep you, and God be with you. Bye-bye.